jump into a Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15 episode 11. Now we are still in Portugal for this episode, and it's a lot of things going on. So now you can see it picks up from last week. Drew runs outside. She starts crying after her and Sheree get back, go through a little back and forth about this whole lawsuit and everything like that. So Sonya goes after her outside to check on her, make sure she's all right. And eventually the rest of the ladies, they come out, and Sheree apologizes, says, hey, you know what, I'm sorry for bringing up the lawsuit. I didn't know it was going to affect you like this, blah, 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 blah. And Kenya at one point is like, let's just make it go away. How many of us ladies are here? We could all divide up $1,000 because that's how much the lawsuit is, according to Drew. And Drew's like, no. It's not about the money. This lady, she keeps coming back for more and more and more. It's something else going on. But in the confessional, the producer is asking her, like, what is really going on? And Drew tells the producers, like, hey, I don't really feel at ease with Ralph. He's in Vegas. And then the one of the producer ladies from my music video shoot was like oiling him down. And then she was suggesting that he go try out for the Magic Mike thing. And she's not really comfortable with that. And even Kenya says in her confessional, like, hey, whatever Drew has going on, it probably has something to do with Ralph. Yes, the lawsuit, but more so about her issues with Ralph, because as soon as Drew walked out, when she left the table, the first thing she said was, I'm tired of my feelings, not being heard. I'm tired of being like pushed off to the side. So that's how Drew was feeling. Eventually, Sheree and Drew, they hug it out. They go back in to the table, but also while they're outside, Candy is kind of over it. She's like, and scene. And y'all know Candy's still dealing with the stomach bug, so she's in and out of the bathroom. The lady's like, you gonna go check on Drew? She's like, nah, I'm finna go to the bathroom. So at one point, everybody's like, well, damn, Candy ain't have to be like that. But Candy was over it. She felt like there were some other, like that conversation wasn't that serious for her to be super emotional like that. So Candy really wasn't here for it. And speaking of Candy, after they get off of Drew, they say, hey, Candy, you know what? You really haven't been hanging around with us lately. Like, what's going on? Look, Candy's trying to get to the bag. She's getting to the money. And Candy's like, look, I don't really have an excuse other than, I'm working. And she says that she's still in her building phase. And everybody is like looking at her like she's crazy, because Candy has been at the top of her game for so long. But y'all have to remember, this is she's just coming off of SWV and Escape's reality show. And Candy's in this place to like, where, look, it was taken from me once. I lost the group once. And now that we got it back, I'm not about to lose it again. So she's doing shows, and, now she's getting into Broadway and things like that. So she still feels like she's in her building phase. But all the ladies are telling her, like, hey, Candy, you can afford to slow down a little bit. Like, you good. You gotta, take care of yourself. But we'll see if Candy listens and takes that advice. But yeah, I doubt it, because Candy she gonna stay working. That's one thing about Candy. You can't say she don't ever had no job. So next day, we get to all the ladies, they're sitting down in the lobby. They're waiting. It's kind of like a rainy day. Everybody comes down. Where's Kenya? Kenya's dilly-dallying. She finally comes down like maybe 45 minutes after the group is waiting in the van, and she steps outside. Boom, she slips and falls. So this is her on the ground. Okay, it was wet out there. There's the sign right here, caution, slippery. But Kenya also had on, let me see if I could zoom in for you guys. Kenya had on some daggone slides. I'm like, Kenya, you know it's gonna be raining out there. You knew what type of weather it was. Like, why do you have on slides? Why don't you have on like tennis shoes, rain boots, something? But Kenya is out for the count, and her and Candy are going to the hospital, and we'll find out about her progress later on. But baby, Kenya is hurting. And while Kenya is being transported, you know, the ambulance comes and everything like that, we have Drew and Courtney, you know, they're sitting at the bar, and Courtney is just like, you know what, this is, you know, it's kind of like karma, because you know, Kenya's a bit of a mean girl, this, that, and the third. And Drew was like, well, wait a minute. Like, so you think this is her karma? And Courtney's like, well, yeah, you know, we got to get this bad energy out of here. But Drew is not really feeling that. So let me know what you guys think about that. You know, not really feeling that either. Yeah, Kenya has her moments, but we don't want to see anybody get hurt. And this is like, she got hurt on the Birmingham trip. Now she's, you know, slipped and fell and is going back to the hospital on this trip. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about Courtney's comment right there. I thought that was a little low. So after Candy and Kenya, they go off to the hospital. Their itinerary is to pick out food from the market so they can go ahead and give it to the chef. The chef can prepare them a nice lunch. They're in there, they're getting all the seafood, the veggies, this, that, and the third. And at one point they run into a like the rabbit, whatever. They're like, oh, the rabbit got a BBL, you know, making jokes or whatever. But they get their lunch, and before they actually get to the table, here we see, you know, we have Candy on the phone on FaceTime, and they're still in the waiting room as of, it's been some hours have passed, and they're still like in the hall. They haven't been seen or anything like that yet. So they're just like, okay, well, how much longer is it gonna be? And you know, it's starting to get restless, and you just sitting there waiting. But they're gonna tough it out. So okay, we'll check on y'all later. They get to the table. It's a lot of things going on at this table, but one of the things is Martell calls Sheree, and then she has to act all giddy and this and that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is the longest that we haven't been together. So the longest we haven't had sex. So at night, think of me. And I'm like, oh, gosh, like, go somewhere with this. This is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It's just so fake. So that's what we have with Martell and Sheree. And we also have Drew finding out that Candy kind of, you know, just up and dipped. Didn't really come out to check on her at the you know, at the dinner the night before. So Sheree is kind of telling her everything that's going down. And Drew was like, well, you know what? I need to have a little talk with Candy about that, because, you know, that's not really cool. I thought we were better than that. So Drew is feeling some type of way. And something else that happens, it's like Candy was not there. So I felt like Mayetta was like, okay, put me in, coach. And Mayetta was just kind of coming at Marlo, was like, I felt like you was taking Kenya's moment when she had brought up, when she was talking with Roy on FaceTime at the brunch last week. I kind of felt like, you stole her moment when you were like, oh my God, is that Roy? And then bringing up the DM, this, that, and the third. But it's like, it's a problem for Marlo to bring up her date in DM. But, you know what I'm saying? Kenya brought up her DM from Martell. So it was kind of like, it seemed like a little forced to me. But they're just going to keep on harping on Marlo with this whole talking about Roy in the DM or whatever. But Mayetta, like I said, Mayetta is trying to secure her spot on the show. So I felt like that was a moment for her where she felt like she could just, do a little bit more. So, they have the lunch. Then after that, they do a pottery class. They do this pottery class. And everybody's, kind of like getting along. So Marlo is like, y'all notice when Candy and Kenya are not here, everything just kind of flows a little bit more smoothly or whatever. And so just to kind of like break that up, Mayetta and Sonya have this little fake fight or whatever. But so then they start showing flashbacks of Candy getting into it and Kenya getting into it. But Marlo is no saint. It's like any one of them could, start something at any time. So it's like Marlo, bye Marlo. But they have a good time at the pottery. And okay, now this is where things really start to take a left turn. They get to the slumber party or whatever. It's in Sheree's room. Everybody comes in. This is when Drew decides she wants to say, Candy, it's been brought to my attention that, the other night, you got up from the table. You was talking about Ann Scene. It's like, do you think that I'm acting all the time? Like, what is it? Because I thought we was building, a genuine friendship, and I felt some type of way. I felt kind of slighted. Candy's like, look, a lot of y'all be uptight around here sometimes, but Drew, I apologize. That was not my intent, to shade you or to be mean to you or anything like that. So after that, Candy's like, well, so how is Drop It with Drew? Drop It with Drew is doing great. And then they start talking about other businesses. Sonya gets into, the She by Sheree, and can she go online and order it now? Because, okay, well, we're going to come back to this Sonya crying in a second. But they're just sitting around or whatever, talking about okay, this is the picture I want. She by Sheree, and the ladies are like, look, you had the website up, we was all here to support you, blah blah blah. Midnight came, boom, it crashed, it never went back up. We don't know what's going on. So Sonya's like, look, I'm gonna purchase my She by Sheree right now. I'm gonna do this right now. So she gets hers. Some of the other ladies decide to buy something on the spot, but they were still getting on Sheree because it's like, look, you went through all of this stuff, and it's like people try to support you, but if your site ain't working right and you don't have a sense of urgency to fix it, it's like Sonya's like, look, we forgot about it, move on to the next thing. But still, speaking of Sonya, she is telling the ladies like what happened with her and her sister at the Mommy Nation, because Sheree's like, look, I noticed, your sister was there, she was helping you, she was doing your hair, and then like she left. So what's up? Sonya's like, hey, look, you know, my sister, I love her. The family dynamic is changing, and I'm still like holding on to the old way of things, and I need to just like let go and, you know, kind of grow up a little bit and just let things change the way they need to change and to, you know, fall into place. So that's where Sonya is with the lady. So like I said, they're all having, you know, little bonding moment or whatever. And then this is where it starts to go like all the way left. So they put up on the screen production wraps, and then an hour later they're still in the room chit-chatting or whatever, and somehow they get onto bringing up Bolo and that whole night and yada yada yada. So that is just like, I don't even know how exactly that came up, but it came up on Marlo's. This is from Marlo's iPhone. So even though the production cameras are down, look, Marlo's sneaky because she set that phone up and she captured all of this. They get into LaToya and Drew kissing allegedly, because Drew is just denied. She is denying it. And Candy's like, you know, well, yes, you did. You know, I can't unsee what I saw. And Drew is like, oh, LaToya says she was lying and that Candy had told her to say those lies at the reunion, and she apologized to me and Ralph for those things that she said. And Candy is like, nah, like that's some BS. And she said one thing about me, you know, I don't lie. That she just called me a liar. And you hear Marlo chime in, you will lie dead before you lie. Even Marlo, of all people, who clearly has, you know, it out for Candy, agrees that Candy does not lie. And Candy doesn't drink. So while everybody else is kind of like all blurred from the night, you know, some things may be a little fuzzy, Candy was completely sober. So I believe Candy. And if Candy says she saw them kiss, then I 100% believe it. But Drew is just going to deny. And I don't know if that was something that maybe Drew wants to deny because she doesn't want that to come out, you know, while her and Ralph are going through this divorce or whatever. But baby Drew is sticking to her story. She is not budging at all. She's not budging at all. And so let me know what you guys think about that whole thing. Do you believe Candy? Do you believe Drew? I personally believe Candy. I do think Drew is lying, but it's like, because we even see it on the next episode, like in the confessional, when they start asking her like who is Ty and what's going on, like Drew just starts crying. So Drew probably, you know, maybe did something that she feels bad about, that she's feeling guilty about, because the waterworks was just coming. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about that episode and what's to come. So thank you guys for watching this review. I don't typically go live very often, but I did want to try something different. So let me know what you guys think about the episode. Drop your thoughts down below. It's Television 87. If y'all want to check out some more of my Atlanta Housewives content, I got some old videos up for you guys, and I will talk to y'all in the next video. Peace.